to make it look like she had died by suicide. Let's listen in.
By Matthew Farwell 3 days earlier. At the time of her death, Sandra Birchmore was a 23-year-old woman with her entire life ahead of her, and she was pregnant with her first child. We allege that Sandra Birchmore survived years of grooming, statutory rape, and then sexual violence, all at the hands of Matthew Farwell, who was employed throughout their relationship as an officer and then detective for the Stoughton Police Department. And when it became clear to Mr. Farwell that he could no longer control Sandra Birchmore, he allegedly silenced her permanently. This morning, Matthew Farwell was arrested on a federal grand jury indictment, charging him with one count of killing a witness or victim. Specifically, Mr. Farwell is charged with violating Title 18 United States Code 1512 for killing Sandra Birchmore with the intent of preventing her from communicating information about his possible commission of federal crimes. How did this all unfold? What happened here? Well, back in 2010, a 12-year-old Sandra Birchmore applied to join the Stoughton Police Department's Explorers program, which introduces teens to policing. Officer Matthew Farwell was an instructor in that program. And as alleged in court documents, he befriended Sandra Birchmore, contacted her online, went to the library with her, became friends on Facebook, essentially groomed her. And then he committed statutory rape by having sex with her when he was a 27-year-old police officer and she was just 15 years old. Mr. Farwell continued to have a sexual relationship with Sandra Birchmore until her death 8 years later, allegedly meeting her for sex regularly when he was on duty and being paid by the Stoughton Police Department. Now, in the weeks leading up to Sandra Birchmore's death in February 2021, she found out that she was expecting a baby. And she told Mr. Farwell that he was the father. According to court documents, Ms. Birchmore was very excited about becoming a mother, buying baby clothes and other items, taking precautions to ensure the health of her new child. Sandra Birchmore had good friends, she had a good job, she had dreams of becoming a nurse, and she had a child on the way. But Mr. Farwell did not share in that excitement. It's alleged that Mr. Farwell reacted quite negatively to the news that Sandra Birchmore was pregnant with his child. And he acted angrily, it is alleged, when Sandra Birchmore started making requests of Mr. Farwell around doctor's appointments and ultrasounds and what information would be on the birth certificate. Mr. Farwell was losing control in late 2020, early 2021, and the information that Sandra Birchmore possessed about his illegal conduct was in danger of slipping out. In fact, word started to get out about their relationship. Less than 2 weeks before she was found dead, someone called the Stoughton Police Department and disclosed that Matthew Farwell had had a relationship with Sandra Birchmore. And when Mr. Farwell learned about that call, he became visibly angry. Mr. Farwell, it is alleged in these court papers, started to lose his patience, lose his temper, and the 6'4" Mr. Farwell started to be physically violent with 4'10" Sandra Birchmore. And Sandra Birchmore told her friends that Mr. Farwell had pushed her and shoved her and put her in a chokehold. She was scared. And during that same time, Mr. Farwell was allegedly planning Sandra Birchmore's murder. For the first time, he requested a key to her apartment. And she told friends that he was oddly inspecting the apartment and looking at the closet, including the closet that she was found dead in front of. And then it all came to a head on February 1st, 2021. Mr. Farwell went over to her apartment that evening, and he strangled Sandra Birchmore to death. That's the allegation in this case. And he used his knowledge and experience as a law enforcement officer to stage her death to look like a suicide. He allegedly attempted to cover his tracks to literally try and get away with murder. And he almost did, until today.
You might be a sex worker and not even know it. I have been reading the book, What Men Don't Want Women to Know, and I am learning so much about the natural state of unmastered and lustful men. In the book, the authors are stating that men have two basic states of being, loaded and unloaded. When they are unloaded, they are in a state of peace, they are in a state of bliss, they are relaxed and more sensible beings, at least more sensible than usual. But when they are loaded, meaning they have not had their release, they are the most predatory, disgusting individuals, more so than you could fathom to think. And that is where you, an unknowing, naive woman, comes in. So you may be posting your pictures on Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be, in more revealing clothing, unbeknownst to the type of individuals that may come across your page. You may be trying to share a fun moment in your life, not at all catering to the opposite sex. The men that the authors of this book are referencing see these pictures, they take them, they save them, and they get off to them. I'm not here to tell you how to dress. I'm not here to tell you what to post. I've done some damage myself, but I would like to let you know what is actually happening when men are liking those pictures. Not all of them, but there are a select group of them. And I know there is a large population of women that like to judge porn stars, OnlyFans girls, and dancers for their line of sex work. But they understand the type of business that they are getting themselves into. They know that they are selling their bodies. They are getting paid for that. That is their business. But those of you who post this type of content but are not in any of these professions may be unknowingly engaging in the same type of work. When you post that bikini picture, when you post that extremely provocative outfit, you think everyone you see is just looking at that picture, liking it, and scrolling? No. They are doing very disgusting things with them. This is why we had that period of time where people were screaming at parents on the internet who were posting their children in very suggestive poses, knowing that they were getting thousands of saves by majority men. If you truly want to understand how disgusting men can be, I encourage you to read this book. The PDF is free online, and the authors of this book are two men. So once you understand how the male brain works, it becomes very difficult to see things the same way.